Us. I want to bring in now Kristen Hawn, a Democratic strategist who previously served as the communications director for the Blue Dog Democrats. Kristen, great to have you on the show. And let's talk about the latest morning consult poll, because it shows that last week's Democratic debate, as far as moving the needles, maybe didn't move it a ton, right? If candidates are reassessing over these next 24 hours here, over the holiday break, as they're home, as they're powering down, what would you recommend for a way to try to show some movement?
I mean, I think it's hard to do it just, over the next couple of days over the holidays. But I agree. I mean, it was interesting. I was in L.A. for the debate out there, and I thought that it was really interesting finally having 7 candidates on the stage. I think that the electorate, particularly Democratic voters, have been it's been difficult for them because there have been so many candidates that they're just exhausted and tired. But now that we have 7, I know that was just the first debate, but now that we're kind of narrowing down the field a little bit, maybe that the voters will be able to pay attention a little bit more.
We're talking about Iowa. You heard Shaquille lay out what Pete Buttigieg's strategy is there. But there's somebody else who has been dubbed as having a bit of a surge in that state, and that is Amy Klobuchar. She's touting some new endorsements there. She doubled her staff. Money is coming in after last week's debate. Politico writes she sits firmly outside the top tier of contenders, but she is the one candidate viewed widely in Iowa by local party officials, campaign operatives, and her competitors as having the best chance to disrupt the caucus field. Do you think people are underestimating Senator Klobuchar?
Yeah, I think that they are. I think that they are. And if you watch, it really struck me during the debate last week, or earlier this week, you could see, I mean, she's got this approach. She has the big ideas. But I think what people in Iowa really want to see is match the big ideas with some practical solutions. So when you had everybody coming out in the beginning saying everybody had to be for Medicare for all, and then kind of walked it back, she never really did that. She, I think, understands the voters in Iowa, and she's somebody, I think, to watch. And another thing, just behind the scenes, we talk about campaign operations and wanting to make sure that you've got a good ground game. She has been somebody who, in talking to her staff, has been very smart from the beginning and making sure that she has had the longevity. She has the money to put the boots on the ground and not have some of the problems that you've seen some of the other candidates have. So I think she's somebody to watch headed into Iowa for sure.
There's something else that we're watching or keeping a little bit of an eye on as well, and that's this sort of interesting Hawaii on Hawaii interactions here, right? Because the former governor of that state, a Democrat, is now calling for Tulsi Gabbard to resign from Congress to allow for a special election there. He told Politico Gabbard has rented a home in New Hampshire and missed more than 85% of votes since October, despite voting present on President Donald Trump's impeachment last week. Do you think that frustration from the former governor there is indicative of how Democrats feel about Gabbard generally, especially after that present vote?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of frustration about that vote. I mean, as a former staffer myself, I always say, never vote president. Vote yes, vote no. Pick a side. That's what the American people want to see. So I think the frustration is probably a little bit more there than it is. You're always going to have the issues when you're running about, how often you're there. It's Hawaii, all of that. I think more of this, particularly as you get down to the voters, is, pick a side, decide, tell us where you are and what you think. And people don't really respond well to somebody who doesn't do that.
Kristen Hawn, thank you for being with us on this Christmas Eve. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We've got more ahead in the show. Santa is getting ready to put some presents under the tree.